it's Janine here, and today we're actually going to be filling out a tax return so that I can show you how to use one of my favorite tax filing softwares that is free to file your return online. We're going to be using SimpleTax, and this is not a sponsored video. You can use TurboTax or H&R Block. This is just the program that I'm using to file my tax return this year and found it very straightforward, simple, and easy to use.
We're going to jump in and start filing our 2017 tax return. I have created a dummy profile on SimpleTax, which is my favorite tax program for Canadians to file their taxes for free. I think it's very easy to use, as you'll see, and it's very simple and clean. The information that you're going to see is not real information. I've made up a social insurance number, and the information from the slips is not for 2017, so just be mindful of that. And I have pulled all of the information off of CRA Online's accounts, so I am going to be showing screenshots of the slips that will be available to you if you have CRA Online access, which is something that everyone should sign up for because it's a great tool to be able to check on what slips have been filed. Once you create a profile on SimpleTax, you'll be asked to fill in a lot of your personal information. This is my real birthday, so if you want to send me a birthday card, I'd be happy to receive it. This is not my real address, so unfortunately, I guess you wouldn't know where to send it. SimpleTax is going to prompt you to answer a bunch of mandatory questions that are denoted with the asterisks, and it's important that you answer these so that it can best help you file your tax return correctly. If you've had a change in your marital status in the year, you're going to want to update that on CRA Online as well as on your tax return. Once you come down to the Your Taxes section, you're going to either choose to answer a few questions or you're going to search for some of the slips that you have. So we're going to go ahead and answer a few of the questions because I think it's a really great tool that will help prompt you into filling out the correct information. So what slips did you receive? So in this example, I've received a T3, a T4, a T4A, and a T5. So you may receive some or many of these slips, so just click the ones that you receive, and a great way again to check these is through the CRA Online account. Tell us a bit about yourself. In 2017, were you a post-secondary student or did you have unused tuition credits? So I'm not going to click this box, but if you do have unused tuition credits, you're going to be able to pull those from your notice of assessment. And if you are a post-secondary student, you're going to receive a T2202A, and that is what you will use to fill out for those tuition credits. I'm not actually going to click any of these boxes just to keep things simple, but if you do end up checking one of these boxes, they will walk you through some of these credits that are available to you. Did you receive income from a small business? I'm going to click yes because I have my online website and that is considered personal income because I'm not incorporated, so I'm going to want to include it on Schedule 2125. I'm not clicking the scholarship button even though I had a T4A because it says other than those included on a T4A, so I'm going to hit next. In this situation, I'm going to click on donations as well as medical expenses and student loan interest. I'm not including transit passes because as of July 1st, there is no longer a credit for this, but if you did have transit pass expenses from January to June 30th of 2017, you will be able to include those. In addition, if you're part of a union or you pay professional dues such as CPA dues that your employer doesn't pay, you would want to include those on your tax return as well. If you moved during the year, you can claim moving expenses if you moved 40 kilometers closer to your place of work, and you're limited to the amount of income you made at that new job. And lastly, political contributions I'm not going to include because I don't really think that that's a huge thing here in Canada, but if you did have political contributions, you'd want to include them there. Did you buy a home, sell your principal residence, make income tax installments? I'm not going to click any of these because they are not applicable to me, but again, if they are applicable to you, feel free to click them and Simple Tax will guide you through. In this case, I'm going to click off RSP because I did make RSP contributions in the year, and I am not clicking on the unused losses, but if I had them, they would show up on my notice of assessment. In addition, if you were selling any shares or mutual funds that were not reported on a slip or within a registered account, such as your TFSA or your RSP, you're going to want to click this off here. Carrying charges would be applicable in the case that you hired a financial advisor to invest for you outside of a registered account. So again, that's your TFSA and RSP. So I'm just going to hit next. And there are a few more questions. I don't have a pension. I did not have a special EI program. And I did not make any special contributions to a foreign pension plan or any of these resource expenditures that may or may not be applicable to you. So I've included some information about my husband, Andrew. We're not going to be filling out his tax return, but if we were, you could add your spouse in, and Simple Tax will actually calculate who it makes more sense to claim some of the expenses on. So we're going to start with our T3 because that is the first one that is there for us. So I'm going to split the screens here and you're going to be able to see where I'm getting this information from. And again, these are screenshots from the CRA website, not necessarily from 2017. So in this case, I have the trust's name. I think in this one, I know you can't see it, was Tangerine. So I had invested in a mutual fund outside of my TFSA and my RSP that did have some trust income. And we can see here that the boxes available to us with numbers are 49, so $8.31, 50, which is $11.47, and 51, which is $1.72. We can also see that this was foreign income and it was USD. And so we have boxes 25 and 34. And if you're looking at this and going, where is box 25 and 34? They're not there. So we're going to enter them down here. Box 25 is $14.28. And box 34 is $1.91. And again, this was USD. Great, so we're done that one. So in the situation where you are sharing any of these slips with your spouse, you would put in your joint percentage. And maybe it's not a spouse. I've seen situations where there are siblings that actually share an account, and so maybe there's 3 of them. So you'd put 33 1/3 here. So we're done our T3. That was pretty easy and straightforward. And now we're going to open up our T4 and employer XYZ in the province of Alberta, and this is really important to fill out because it obviously populates the tax rate for the province that you live in. So employment income is going to be $45,743.58, and box 16, which is our CPP contributions, are $2,090.64, and then we're going to jump to box 18, which is $859.88, and box 22, which is all of the income tax we paid in the year that our employer deducted. So as you can see, before I hit enter, the amount owing is about $6,800, which is probably scaring some people, but don't fret. Make sure you enter all your slips before you start freaking out about the balance owing. Watch what happens when I tab over to the next box. I'm getting a refund. And that's because I paid more tax on this amount than I needed to in the year. We're also going to want to fill out box 24, which is our insurable earnings for the year, and our CPP pensionable earnings, which is box 26. And that's also $45,743.58. If you had any other boxes on your T4, you're going to again want to come and enter them on here. I don't in this situation. In addition, a lot of people wonder what they have to do about box 28, and that's only if you're exempt from CPP, EI, or this pension income. And we don't want to click those. In this situation, you would see these boxes included on your T4 if that were the case. Most people are just going to leave them blank. All right, so we've come down to our T4A. So in this situation, you could have received scholarship income, or you could have earned income from another source and they've reported on a T4A. It really doesn't matter. So this is actually from a company, so company ABC, and I earned $300 and it's in box 28. And let's watch that refund again. It's going to jump down because I haven't paid tax on this income. Box 28 is just other income. So this was income that is not included in my T4 and has not been taxed. So it makes sense that my refund would go down because I was never taxed on this income. Coming down to our T5, which is investment income earned outside of a registered account. So that would be outside of a TFSA or an RSP. So you'd have to have a separate account for this, and then you would see a T5 being generated for the year. You could have a number of these depending on how many different funds and different financial institutions you've invested in. In this case, I'm only going to show one because otherwise I think it will be duplication. So let's say again that this was maybe Tangerine. And we see here that I need to fill out box 15 and 16. This is again foreign income. So that's in the US in this situation as well. So I earned $51.12 from the US, and box 16 is the foreign tax paid. So on this I paid $7.41, and I'm again going to need to click United States. And that is shown on your slip. I just screenshotted it here and it got cut out, but it will show you where your foreign income has been earned.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any tax questions, please leave them in the comment section below.